coming into play. We've had both candidates here in the studio. We've had Jandor of the PDP. We've had GRV of the Labour Party here in the studio. The PDP is possible. Before I then follow up with the statement from the publicity secretary of the PDP.
Opportunity. I wish I was live on the segment, but I think we need to understand something. Politics is not child's play. It's about everybody just looks for their own interest. But like you said, we've had both candidates, in this stage. In fact, we had both of them the same day. And I'm talking about the PDP gubernatorial candidate and the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate. And both of them kind of brought up the idea of why not? Why can't we come together? I remember one of the callers, I made a special request to the PDP candidates that for them to wrestle power from the sitting governor, the APC, they should form alliance. And as it is now, it's just about 5 days, or let me say 4 days to the election. And I think all of these conversations came up as a result of the presidential Obasanjo going forward. It's politics, and I don't think anything is impossible in politics. Every single minute, especially as we build up to the election. Funny enough, I know how difficult it's been for us to get APC representative in the studio here. It seems we get a lot of other parties.
I'm going
but
to
as
get
it is
there.
now, it seems even all the APC people are now available.
I'm going to get there.
for media engagement.
Presidential elections, the APC,
you have like
untouchable.
They're invincible. You can't see them.
They were invincible. They were untouchable.
They don't respond.
You can't even get access to them. Talk less of getting response.
Nobody wants to share the media space.
It's almost like there's something that they are running after, or there's something that they're running from. But we'll get there. I'm sure. Honorable Bolaji has something to say. Or no alliances. Do you think that the only way for any party, let's not forget that for the past 20-something years, the PDP has tried unsuccessfully to wrestle power from the APC in Lagos State. Do you think that an alliance is the only way out to get
for you? Because you can't. There's no way either of Jandor or GRV would be able to deputize or run on each other's ticket anymore. So it's going to be okay. Let me collapse the structure. About 9 local governments, if I'm not mistaken, and they won the overall presidential election, initiating the alliance. It's going to be a different ball game, Sandra.
And then GRV has, what was that credibility? Social media credit. Yeah, what's some sort of credit?
Enjoying the honeymoon.
There's political value from both of them, but I'm not going to, ask who has more or who, because we have an Ogberi with us here.
Sandra, see, it's about numbers. It's about numbers. And the election we are talking about is just about 10 days ago.
But the numbers, were they for the Labour Party or for Peter Obi?
You see, so that we don't waste too much time.
Exactly.
So that we don't waste too much time on this issue. I'm going to make a prediction again. I did it in the morning, and I've made several predictions during this. And my prediction is simple: the alliance is not going to happen.
It's okay. It's
simple as ABC.
I just leave that at that. I'm not going to say anything. But he just said something about numbers. I just needed to clear the air.
Irrespective of the numbers, the momentum behind the Labour Party. Again, we had both candidates in the studio here. We interacted with them, had conversations with them. I'm sure you psychologically observed them beyond what they were saying. And the personality of the two gentlemen, for me, I don't think they'll be able to work together politically. And with the way the PDP seems to have positioned itself, look, the secretary of the PDP, Mr. Amode, was in the news. Look at what he said, that look, if any alliance was going to happen, it would have to be the Labour Party collapsing the structure to work with the PDP. And I said, look, how would I collapse a structure that was able to get over 600,000 votes for somebody that struggled with 75,000 votes?
A structure that wrestled power for what you've not been able to do.
So I think we should just move on. Let's just, when it happens, we'll see. But my prediction is not going to happen.
What? It's okay. It's okay. Ahead now, just as we said, interesting days ahead as we go into the gubernatorial polls, being able to upseat the PDP as the main opposition party in Lagos State. With the results that we had, it was almost interesting things. But then Labour Party won Lagos State at presidential polls. The APC almost 580 something thousand votes for the Labour Party.
And PDP
had these results on the APC in Lagos State. The president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as regards the fact that him winning the presidential ticket. So looking at all of that now and saying that, okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Was it that, the APC was much more interested in gaining the national candidate, the fishes to fry now? We need to concentrate on the country. And we're also going to look at the current intensity of the APC campaign in Lagos. I don't know where Sanwo-Olu... When
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was announced as returned president-elect by the INEC chairman, I saw the video. They were all in the sitting room. And then because of those governors, the Gandhi of Kano, and I saw Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He was just somewhere. And you could see that, okay, now we've done this one. What happens to me? I just lost my state. I didn't deliver my state. I'm literally the face of the campaign, going everywhere. Somebody made a tweet yesterday that if you meet the governor at any space now, even if you pour water on his body, it's the governor that will say sorry first. I mean, that's how some of the billboards that had Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu have been replaced by the governor's strategic positions in Lagos. So
it's just 5 days to the elections. Another thing that we're also going to be looking at is the scorecard that just came. But then after the presidential polls, we're seeing scorecards everywhere, and it's interesting to know that the governor actually has done a lot. I mean, wow, look at that. Morning, thank you for staying tuned. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. You're on to Ballot 23 with focus on the 2023 general elections with the Bolaji Shoneye, a political strategist for the APC governorship campaign in Lagos State. So all of our questions is Auntie and ready to answer all of that. What was the reaction in APC generally when the results for the presidential came out, especially Lagos State losing to the Labour Party?
I must say that
lost.
Okay, fine. For the first time, APC would lose in Lagos, and of course, for many of us, it came as a not too much of a surprise. See what we need to do right, and then what we actually left undone, okay. And then to ensure we make adjustments. And I can bet to ensure that the apathy on the side of the APC voters in Lagos had been addressed, and we are still addressing it. I will continue to address it until the election day. I can assure you that a lot had been seen, and I must say that all of this have been addressed and I'm fixed, of course. And coming March 11th, this Saturday, APC has for us to buckle our belts, and we've done all of that. Our house is in full order for this, and then I can assure you that even in places where we lose, there is Saturday 11th to see the outcome.
There's nothing that can shock me anymore.
This will shock you, but honestly, you thought out of the governor does not pop up.
It's really
I don't think the aggressive campaign.
And then talking about the social media, I must say, we've been used to developments happen in Lagos. It's no longer a news. Every Lagosian wake up every morning to see something new happening in Lagos, and we are so used to it, and we believe that when people appreciate what is good, without even having to campaign for them, of misinformation and history being distorted, people not telling the people the full truth, are probably putting out especially social media influencers putting out half truth, and then a lot of our youths had also been kind of misled.
Okay.
Informations that are not true, and now that we are putting all of these true informations out, the achievements of years. If I'm to state a few, Lagos State Governor had built over 1,000 schools. The 37 LCDAs and the local governments of Lagos, which makes 57 altogether. You can see the development of the Lekki-Ekpe Express Road, the free trade. See it as something really big, and we thought the people who are seeing this every day should appreciate it, and then we don't need to stick it to your face that we are doing so well. But now that and for those who are hearing me today, you can actually fact check it. You can fact check it.
Can I advertise? But hey, the darling offers to you. What
I must say, they gained a lot of traction and youth support base, I must say. And at the same time, every other party had their fair share of it. So you make promises. Always say again, Lagos, must say, does not even have the capacity. What are his achievement? What are his community person coming from? What have you done before? You get it? And what are you bringing to the table? Or what? He came into government and board before he became governor. Very good high health alert. And then aside that, a lot of other things are done in Lagos. He developed it, he grew it, and he also made policy statements or policy experience. And of course, he's putting the experience to play, and we can all see all of this around us. Election, all of them, majority of them who attended, had let's coming to promise us, I'm going to build a skyscraper in better. And for me, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's students being returned. SAP used that word.
Okay.
He's very tactical. He's a tactical person. He sits me to Lagosians to let them know the achievements of the governor in different facets, in different areas. I believe tribalism is also another thing they want to push. I can tell you the Lagos state government continue to be a state that will allow growth for everybody. And those who are our brothers that decided to vote their kinsman is very understandable, and we understand that, and they also understand that the only government that can sustain and allow their business to continue to grow in Lagos State is the government of APC, because we've actually alone. We talk about every other community.
Thank you, Honorable Ballot'23.
To make it house
allows for every governor, you have the option to tell them to consolidate on the achievement. The consolidation continue, which Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is still doing again, and he will continue to do it again. Good governance will come out to go for capacity.
The statesman went to the Labour Party, and there are insinuations on the background that there are some cracks within the APC in Lagos that was just mended, and more like paper over cracks just for the presidential election. And most of the low turnout in APC conventional areas are more like revolt from the APC members. Have all of this been fixed, or you feel it's one of those things that you find a way to settle?
Firstly, I want you to know that in any election, there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. You win some, you lose some, and of course, win some more. Yes, we lost the presidential position in Lagos, but of course, if you check it out, we won all the senatorial seats in Lagos. We won 22 or thereabout out of 24 House of Representatives in Lagos. All right, when it comes to that will be the overall. Yes, I must say that we overlooked some things in Lagos during the presidential election, but of course all of these have been addressed, and I must say there has been a whole lot of internal mechanism which APC has the capacity to pull, and of course it's pulling it and ensuring that the house is going out together up front as one again. And of course we've actually 11th March we are coming out victorious because the entire house is in order and we're working together as a team.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So I'm going to go two ways. So I'm going to go with voter intimidation, the allegations of voter intimidation in different parts of the state at the last election, and a lot of people, direct, those allegations towards. That's one.
Okay. In response to control the activities of some people who are emotional when it comes to electioneering, but of course these people are not representing our party. Some people, just because of their personal interest in politics, might have in one or two places done that, and that's the job of the security operatives, which the government deployed to secure people. When it comes to voter intimidation, it will be very wrong to accuse APC of such, because APC and its leadership have always been calling for calm, and have been actually in several meetings ensuring we have all our members go out to vote diligently, either without being harassed or harassing anyone else, because we are sure of victory, and eventually we had victory.
Okay, there's one that we can accuse the APC of, and that's the Agbero issue. Because really, if you listen to ordinary Lagosians who are not really partisan, who just want good governance, who want a decent society, who want a functional mega city, they still continue to talk about the menace of this Agbero syndrome.
Okay.
And I'm sure you agree with me that, look, if there are votes you lost at the elections or you've been losing, it has to do with the activities of Agbero in Lagos and the harassment. Don't you think it is one thing the APC has to fix going forward?
All right. People, you give them a bad name so that you can, do whatever you like with them. So it's just like giving the dog a bad name so you could kill it. Those who work in the transport sector actually operate their businesses even before the APC government or before 1999, and they are called the NURTW. And they have a way they do their businesses or run their activities with these people who are in the transport sectors. For example, for every driver who goes to a garage to register that they want to start operating in transport sector, there are rules and there are levies they all agree to pay to themselves. I don't know how they do their thing, but of course there are agreements on levies they have to pay either on daily basis or weekly basis or whatever. But in a case where drivers will get to the park and then load passengers are not paid these levies, of course the transport union would have what we call
dues, levies.
The dues and levies that needs to be collected, and they will have their units who helps to ensure this payments are made or being enforced.
Enforcement
units to ensure these payments are made. And then when these enforcement units are going after the drivers to ensure they do whatever they have to do because their parks are maintained and so many other things, then you try to tag them agberos.
People have argued. People have argued that look, collection of dues, enforcement, and all of that should happen at the parks, not on the streets and
on the highways.
That's why I said, don't you think that should be reformed?
Then now, coming to normal commuters in Lagos, I also take public transports and all of that. Agbero has never harassed me as a passenger not to enter into the bus, and I've never entered into a transport bus in Lagos, be it BRT or normal commercial buses, that Agbero have told me to come down from the bus. The Agbero is always having issues with the drivers who are either not cooperating in paying their fees. For those who pay their fees, you don't have these issues. And then it's now becoming an acceptable time to call them agberos because, of course, it's stigmatization. But of course, we
Honorable Bolaji, are you saying that we don't have an agbero problem in Lagos? That's what you are saying.
I would say yes, we don't have an agbero problem in Lagos. What we have is those who work in the transport sector who are actually having issues with their drivers and probably the unions of the transport.
I know I'm saying that those activities,
yes,
collection of PP candidates, reforming the activities.
All right. Talking about reforming the activities, there's always room for reform. There's always room for readjustments and new laws being passed or new arrangements being made. The activities should be limited to the parks, yes. But when the drivers actually now boycott the parks, where they know they are supposed to pay their levies, and then they go to, other bus stops created, and then they know these are parks or places where they could pick passengers, and the drivers are, or rather the union cannot reach out to them. Of course, so that means it's a thing that must be worked out within the driver and the union. And that being said, Lagos State government is already coming in to actually address this by coming up with the last pack arrangement, okay, by ensuring that even revenues from transport sector, the government is controlling it. And of course, for them to do this, they need to bring experience hand on those who have been managing the transport sector either privately or individually now into the government sector to retrain them and also get this job done and deliver Lagos better in the transport area.
Okay, the election of the governorship in Lagos is just a few days away, and I'm not sure if we've had it this competitive. Yes, the opposition, as the PDP, had over time brought up a credible candidate, the late Funshaw Williams, the Mr. Jimmy Agbaje, a lot of amazing people. But how confident are you going into this election? Don't forget, now this is not you being boastful, this is you being realistic to what we have on ground. The emergence of the Labour Party candidate, especially after the presidential election, the narrative in the last 48 hours in respect to tribe, in respect to, Lagos is no man's land, that narrative and all of that. How comfortable are you or your party going into this election on Saturday?
Firstly, I would say I'm confident that we are winning this election on Saturday, and my reasons are thus. The Labour Party and the PDP merged together at the presidential election, and that is why you see the PDP agreed to say, okay, all PDP members should vote for the Labour Party members, and that's why you see the Labour Party come out with over 500,000 votes, and PDP have just less than 100,000 votes. It's just a matter of votes. And before Labour Party even came up at all the voters used to vote for PDP. Now they are not left and divided their strengths. And as it is right now, the two candidates of the Labour Party and the PDP, I don't see an alignment, because if there should be an alignment, both of them should agree on the same ideology in the first place to be a candidate and a deputy.
They shouldn't have moved separate parts.
So now that they cannot agree to be a candidate and a deputy, that means both of them have different ideologies. I don't see how both of them will come together, except they want to come together probably on the grounds of the enemy of my enemy.
He's my friend.
He's automatically my friend, and that is eventually undemocratic and also not going to bring any development to the people. The people of Lagos can discern, they can see for themselves that these people don't have any interest in developing Lagos. Their interest is just to grab power. Okay, and it's not just about grabbing power, it's about doing what is right.
But you are a politician, you know that you need to grab power before you talk about doing what you want to do. So it's not a problem, don't you think?
Winning first.
Okay, now for somebody who wants to grab power, you're not going to give power to the wrong person that does not have the experience.
That's another conversation.
That does not have the antecedents to do it. The Lagos voters, the Lagos electorate are people of class, and they can see it. They can read in between the lines when it comes to someone who wants to grab power just for grabbing power's sake, and somebody who wants to retain power for further growth. And then when it comes to talking about Lagos is no man's land and all of that, yes, we cannot take it away from a few people, you know, who don't have an understanding of what Lagos is, and then understanding the rights of first settlers and also the aboriginals. Okay, and for some people as well in Lagos also had other settlers who would never say this because they respect their host communities. You have the Arewa communities, you will never hear it from them that Lagos is no man's land. You have the Kogi, the south, you know, communities, you will never hear it from them. We only hear it from a few people from a particular sector. And for me, I don't even hold it against them is because they lack understanding from these few people amongst them. A good number of Igbo people voted for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In my team, the sensitization strategy team, I have Igbo ladies and other members who are from the Eastern extraction.
And they voted for the APC.
Who worked for us on the field, going out to talk to people, to vote for Asiwaju, and also voted for APC. We have other Southeastern states, and Asiwaju also gained votes in those places. So we cannot completely tag a particular set of people. If not, we'll become bigots. But the fact that some people are making mistakes, that Lagos is a no man's land, I think they need to take history lessons. Yeah,
I think we all need to take history lessons, including the APC. But then, what I'm looking at antecedents. I'm looking at antecedents. If we're looking at antecedents, I don't think any of the candidates. Well, we've had quite almost about 10 of them in the studio. We've had conversations with them. So to a certain extent, we've looked beyond what is coming out from their mouths, and also, you know, reading behind the line or between the lines of what they're saying. All right. So if you're talking about antecedents, are you saying that the only thing that gives Governor Sanwo-Olu an edge is the fact that is the incumbent?
never.
So when you're talking about antecedents, where exactly are you coming from? What angle?
Antecedents in terms of Governor Sanwo-Olu had served in the public sector for a while now. It was an essay to His Excellency President-elect, Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was governor of Lagos State. It was part of the committee or team that traveled with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to China to consummate the Lagos deep sea port infrastructure, which is there now. So Governor Sanwo-Olu had an history of being part of progressive government. These are antecedents. He also served at the Lagos State Lottery Board, regulated the lottery system in Lagos, and ensured both participants, the investors and participants, everybody, no one is ripped off. And you can see that sector is booming and is creating wealth for the people of Lagos and Nigeria at large. So Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, aside from being an incumbent, and if you talk about being incumbent, please, the work of your hand will always speak for you. You get it? For everything.
I mean, it's my advantage.
Of course, for everything he had done. Not every governor in Nigeria can say the same about what they have done, can speak for them. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu can make bold to say this, because earlier today now I had mentioned a couple of the things he had done, and I can continue to say more and more. Look at the transport system in Lagos. Look at the rail system in Lagos, the blue rail system in Lagos, the first ever in the history of Nigeria. Look at, and of course the red rail is coming. In case you don't know, please prepare. You have a lot of that. You know,
I don't know.
Going forward.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So that is, the antecedent that we're working with, right? The fact that he had served in government and none of the other candidates have served in government.
He had made positive impacts
while he served.
While he served, yes, in government.
Because we have other candidates that have also served.
And
so if that's what we are working with,
they should rail out their achievements while they serve. At least we are railing out Governor Sanwo-Olu's achievements. Yeah. They should rail out their own, and then we make comparison. That's it.
It's okay.
All right.
All right, let's open up the phone line. Let's hear what the listeners have to say about all that Honorable Bolaji Shone has said this morning. It's quite an interesting conversation. The APC seems to be on fire to ensure that the mantle remains with the APC in person of the incumbent Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So we have Honorable Bolaji Shone with us, a political strategist of the APC governorship campaign in Lagos State. All right, let's get your thoughts. 0913-6000-410. That's the number to call, or you can send a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0913-6000-430. We have just a few minutes to go, so we can wrap things up very quickly. Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's Patrick Oko from Ikorodu.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, I greet your guest today.
Good morning.
I like the way you wrap up your question. Well, my question to him is the different parts in Lagos. So, what are their plans? Because I remember some days ago, I'm not working here in Lagos. What's his name? Baba Fashola. He said something to come and take 3,000 and go back to the state. So, what is the plan?
For who? For who?
Huh?
What is the plan for what? For what?
What is the plan for the?
That's it. Thank you very much. I knew there wasn't getting anywhere. 0913 6000 410. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. This is Jemitoba calling from Papa.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to ask your guest one question because he spoke about you talk about the Agbero and the rest. Concerning the chairman, the current chairman of ABNC Loma, did he have any civil servant orientation before them even in that post? That is the question I want to ask him. Because he said if you want to occupy any office of a political, what do you call it?
That's a transport
union. You know, NURTW is a transport union. Is independent.
Yes.
It's not It's not a political appointment.
Okay.
Yes, it's not a political appointment.
I think the guy was a driver, he was a conductor,
it's a union.
He worked
It's just
as a
like
transporter for years.
In your office, you people have union. Then you now decide that okay, this person will be our president. Do you understand now?
Okay, no problem.
The honorable wants to respond to that.
And I must say that before now, the union had different presidents at different time because they conducted themselves. And the last
Yes. Hello.
okay.
Please go on.
All right, and the last person before the popular or current president MC Oluomo also is, I think his name is Mr. Taoreed Agbede. He also played his role and parts to ensure regulation of the activities of their union members, and which MC Oluomo had also done his own best and still doing. Being the leader or the chairman of the transport union is not a government appointment. It's a private arrangement of people who are into the transport business or in the transport business sector. So please get that correctly. You don't need to be a civil servant.
Studio this morning, we really appreciate.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. And Lagos, I must say thank you for having me. And then I appeal to you to vote for our party, APC, come March 11th, 2023. For governorship and House of Assemblies. Development policies can be passed that will favor the people of Lagos, our business, our lifestyle, and of course bring growth to all of us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Okwemi Akiode.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. We'll meet on your WhatsApp status.
I'm actually a beaded prince in Lagos.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, stay with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, we can't stretch the pro show any further than this. But my name is Omobola Sandra. Thank you for staying tuned.